If you're wondering what exactly Trump meant when he said America is entering the golden age, then you're not alone. This video is about where we stand and what promises he made after 14 months and how that impacts crypto moving forward. So here we go.
Trump said it 3 times. January 2025. The golden age of America begins right now. March 2025. It has only just begun. February 2026. This is the golden age of America. The phrase moved from future promise to claimed present reality over 14 months. The crypto community believed it. Some are sitting on losses right now, wondering if they were misled. They were not misled. But the full picture is more complicated than either the critics or the cheerleaders want to admit. This is an honest audit. What was promised, what was delivered, what is still in motion, and why the setup for what comes next is stronger than most people realize. Start with the promises because they were specific and they were public. July 2024, Nashville Bitcoin Conference. Trump promised to make America the crypto capital of the planet. He said it on stage to the largest Bitcoin audience in history. January 2025. Executive order titled Strengthening American Leadership in Digital Financial Technology, signed on day 3 of the administration. David Sachs named AI and crypto czar, the first time a sitting president created a dedicated crypto policy role inside the White House. March 6, 2025, executive order establishing the Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, called it a virtual Fort Knox for digital gold. March 7, 2025, White House Crypto Summit, industry leaders inside the building, not fighting regulators, sitting at the table. July 19, 2025, the Genius Act signed into law, the first federal stablecoin framework in American history, cementing the dollar's role in digital payments globally. The Clarity Act passed the House, dividing regulatory authority between the CFTC and SEC, ending the legal no man's land that kept institutional capital on the sidelines for years. Now here is the honest scorecard. Promise 1, regulatory clarity. This one was delivered. The SEC under the new chairman reversed years of hostile posture. Companies that spent years in legal limbo now have a framework to operate inside. Here is what nobody is saying clearly. The regulatory framework Trump built in 14 months is more pro-crypto than anything any previous administration attempted. That foundation does not disappear when the price corrects. Promise 2, Strategic Bitcoin Reserve, partially delivered. 233,000 Bitcoin held, approximately $20 billion at current prices. The market sold the news the day it was announced. But here is what actually matters. No president in American history has ever held Bitcoin as a national strategic asset. That happened, it is real, and it changes the conversation about Bitcoin permanently. Promise 3, America as crypto capital, in progress, and the progress is significant. BlackRock's spot Bitcoin ETF hit $54 billion in assets under management. ETFs absorbed 600,000 Bitcoin, equivalent to 100% of new supply produced since the April 2024 halving. 160 listed companies now hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets. Vanguard and Merrill Lynch opened access to Bitcoin products. The institutional infrastructure that did not exist 3 years ago is now built. Promise 4, Bitcoin in 401k plans. Not yet. The executive directive told regulators to reconsider restrictions. The rule has not changed yet, but the direction is set and the pressure is building. Now here is the part the critics are using and getting wrong. Bitcoin peaked at 126,000 in October 2025. It is now near 67,000, down 47% from the peak. That sounds like the golden age failed. Here is what the historical record actually says. Bitcoin dropped 32% from March to August 2024, then hit a new all-time high. Dropped 31% from January to April 2025, then hit a new all-time high. Every single correction in Bitcoin history has been followed by a new high. Every one, not most, every one. This is not a collapse. This is a reset. And this reset is happening inside the most institutionally supported Bitcoin market in history. Grayscale called this the dawn of the institutional era. That framing matters. Retail speculation cycles correct fast and recover fast. Institutional cycles correct slower and recover stronger. The pricing power has permanently shifted. It no longer sits with retail momentum chasers. It sits with BlackRock, Fidelity, pension fund managers, and corporate treasuries running quarterly allocation models. That is an irreversible transfer of power, and it is the reason the institutions are still here despite the correction. Here is the setup for what comes next. $9 trillion in U.S. government debt matures in 2026. When that debt rolls over, the conditions it creates, liquidity expansion, yield management, money supply pressure, have historically driven capital into scarce assets. Bitcoin is the scarcest asset ever created. Fixed supply, immutable schedule. No central bank can print more of it. That property does not change in a correction. It becomes more valuable during one.
Hey, sorry to cut in. If this video has you thinking about holding Bitcoin as protection instead of hype, the Bitcoin and Security Bundle was built for you. It helps you understand the asset of blockchain tech, crypto tokens, and much more, avoid beginning mistakes, and think more clearly about security before you put real money at risk. So the link's down below, and let's get back to the video.
The Federal Reserve cut rates 3 times in 2025. Conditions point toward further cuts in 2026. Lower rates reduce the opportunity cost of holding a non-yielding asset. Bitcoin benefits directly. The midterm elections are in November. A pro-crypto administration has every political incentive to deliver visible wins for the crypto community before voters decide. Policy momentum does not slow before midterms. It accelerates. The Clarity Act still needs the Senate. If it passes, it removes the last major legal uncertainty blocking full institutional scale. Pension funds, endowments, sovereign wealth funds. None can move at full allocation without the legal framework complete. Clarity completes it. In the 401k channel is potentially the largest single source of new Bitcoin demand in this cycle. A single executive directive has already told regulators to reconsider. If 1% of defined contribution plan balances migrate into Bitcoin, that is $87 billion of new demand at current prices. Here is what the institutions are projecting. Standard Chartered, 150,000 by end of 2026. Bitwise and Bernstein, 200,000. JP Morgan, 170,000. Citibank, 133,000. These are not retail analysts posting on social media. These are the same institutions that dismissed Bitcoin entirely 5 years ago. They are now running price models with 6-figure targets. Here is what is actually happening right now while most people are watching the price and feeling uncertain. Strategy alone holds 687,000 Bitcoin. 160 listed companies hold 1.1 million Bitcoin combined. ETFs have locked up 600,000 more. Together, that is roughly 1.7 million Bitcoin, 8.5% of the total supply that is not circulating. Supply is tightening. Institutional demand is structural, not speculative, and the policy framework supporting all of it is the most favorable in the history of the asset. The correction is real. The pain is real. Nobody who bought at 110,000 and is watching 67,000 feels good about it right now. But the question is not how the price feels today. The question is whether the promises that were made are still intact. The regulatory framework, intact. The strategic reserve, intact. The institutional infrastructure, intact and growing. The policy momentum, intact with midterms accelerating it. The golden age was never going to be a straight line up. No economic era in American history has been a straight line up. Every golden age in the historical record had corrections inside it. The 1990s had the 1994 bond massacre, the 1997 Asian financial crisis, and the 1998 Russian default, all inside what became the greatest economic expansion in American history. A correction inside a golden age is not evidence that the golden age is over. It is evidence that the golden age is real, because only real markets have real corrections. The promises were made. Most of them were kept. The ones still in progress have the policy engine and the institutional capital behind them. The setup going into the second half of 2026, rate cuts, liquidity expansion, 401k access opening, Clarity Act pending, midterm political pressure, is the strongest fundamental case Bitcoin has ever had. The golden age did not fail. It is being built. The price corrected. The foundation did not. This is the golden age, and it has only just begun.